I've been told that as a kid, I'd make friends with everybody. You know, I'd be in the grocery store, make friends with every person that passed, and I was smiling and laughing, and then I went to school. And in this school, you had to be that kind of kid. You know, the kid that would sit like this in the classroom and never would daydream about anything and never would, possibly raise their voice or, play around with the other kids or I don't know. I don't even understand the type of kid they wanted, but it was a very specific kind. And I didn't fit that. I remember thinking I was stupid. That I was stupid, that I was this like failure. And yeah, I just remember being so sad at that age. I was really sad. I think it was the only time at that age that I was just so sad. I would come off the bus with my head down, and sometimes I would cry, and when crying didn't work anymore, I just gave up. And that, I think, was when my parents got worried. Okay, something needs to change. And I came here, and it was so fast. It was like you went from this really unhappy child to this happy kid where you can, and it makes sense because when you come here at that age especially, the world is open to you. You can explore, you can do anything you want to do. And I think kids need that. It's something I think in society we've more and more forgotten just how much we need kids to explore, and I was suddenly allowed to explore. This was a place where you walked in and it was like there are these kids that want to learn. These were kids that just were learning in their own way and happy and exploring, and it felt like this utopian idea of all these kids doing all these things. Yeah, I loved the other kids. I had friends immediately, and I think to its testament, it's a place that also fosters friendship in a very different way because you're letting kids explore and you're letting kids kind of roam and figure out who they are. They're learning the interpersonal skills in a way that they can't do when they're stuck behind a desk. Because in traditional schooling, they can pass a note to a kid, or I don't know, nowadays maybe with a cell phone or something, but that's the most interaction besides the scheduled blocks that they have. And those scheduled blocks are, recess, where they can finally run around, and they're supposed to somehow in that 1 hour a day, or maybe if they're really lucky, that hour and a half a day during lunch too, somehow they're supposed to build social skills and interpersonal skills. It's not enough. But here, you can do that all day. So kids naturally learn how to deal with conflict. They naturally learn how to deal with the social and interpersonal skills that they need as they get older, even not just in a career, but as children growing, to gain self-esteem, to be a successful kid. People have a lot of focus on being a successful adult, but to be a successful kid, you need these skills. And here we got that in spades. This school caters to all different kinds of kids. There are quieter kids, there are louder kids, there are kids that are more what people would call more book smart, and kids that are more, I want to say, like experiential. They want to be out there, hands-on, doing things. The beauty is that because you can explore anything, it allows any kid to really thrive. And that's something that traditional schooling just does not do. One of the really powerful things about this place is that because you have so many different kids that learn differently, work differently, have different skill sets, you're creating a breeding ground of kids that are learning from each other these different skill sets. And your peers become your mentors as well. And that's really important. That's the thing, people think classes don't happen here. They do, all the time. All the time. Kids are learning all the time here, and they sit down and they study here. I went here, I graduated, I loved it here. When I think back on my life, I think these were formative years that were so important to my development and my health and my being, what I consider actually, I think I became a pretty good person overall.